Hello my fellow humans and welcome back to my channel. It's scatterlovetarot with your girl coming at you with another pick a card reading. Today we are going to ask, what kind of karma will they face for hurting you? It's kind of one of those I'm just curious, you might be curious, so we'll be curious together type readings, okay? Let's get into it, guys. Well, anyways, if these are resonating with you, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button down below, subscribing to the channel, and setting that notification bell, knowing that these interactions allow me an opportunity to connect with your energy and get you out more resonant readings. I just want to say thank you so much to anyone and everyone that has graced me with your time, your support, your love. You guys are so very much appreciated. You've touched my heart in such a profound way, and just know that I'm so grateful for you being here. If you are on here for the first time, welcome. We are all humans. You are welcome with open arms as you are in this here, now, here moment. Awesome. So that being said, I want to say thank you to everyone for being patient with me. For those of you that know my situation, I'm being completely transparent. It has been up and down. There are good days and there are bad days, or less good days, I should say. And so I just want to say thank you for allowing me space to really spend time with my family at this moment and to spend time with my dog as we progress to the next phase, whatever that is. If you're not sure about the story, you're welcome to check out the community tab that is on there. So far, I just want to say thank you for all the prayers and the positivity and the good wishes. It really does mean so much to me and to her as well. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into our prayers so we can get started with your reading. I don't want it to be too long today. I actually want it to be pretty short and concise and to the point, just because it has been a day. But I still love you guys, and I want to get you out your readings. You support me, and I will always be here for you. All right. My beloved source, this is for any and all who come onto this video, whether they're here for a moment or they're here for the entire time. Today I ask that you give each and every one of them the courage to love themselves, the courage to know what their self-love routine is, and the courage to understand that it is going to be different and that it's okay, that it doesn't look like another person's routine. With the understanding that in this time, loving oneself is one of the most powerful things that we can do. Not only does it draw us closer to you and to our higher self, it draws us closer to others, and it allows us to be our truest self when we bring this self-love to others, because it means that we can love others as much as we love ourselves. So today I ask that you open hearts, open minds, and open intuition to what this routine should be, and knowing that it's not about perfection, it's all about progress and practice and showing up. No one person is ever a robot, and I ask that you open our minds to this understanding that we're not trying to be robots, we're just trying to be humans and do the best that we can. I ask that you place hands on hearts and surround each and every one of us with your divine protective light, your divine protective love, and your grace. As these words are spoken unto this space, so shall they be. Amen, aho, ase. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's get this set up over here, out of the way. Let that intention burn for you guys. And today we're going to choose one of the animal oracles on what kind of karma will they face, source, for hurting pile number 1. What kind of karma will they face for hurting pile 1? Wow, thank you. Okay. What kind of karma will they face for hurting pile 2, source? What kind of karma will they face for hurting pile 2? Thank you. Okay, and source, what kind of karma will they face for hurting pile number 3? What kind of karma will they face? Thank you. All right, and so I've got some new gemstones I'm so excited about. I absolutely love. This is for pile 1, rhodochrosonite. It's absolutely beautiful. For pile number 2, we have natural jasper. Okay, and for pile number 3, we have a blue moonstone. Okay, turn these up. Okay, so pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. Whichever pile you are drawn to, that should be the pile for you, keeping in mind that they are general readings, so take what resonates and leave what does not. But with that being said, whichever pile you've chosen, I will see you over pile number 1. This is for those that chose the pink rhodochrosonite. I think that's how you say it. This is going to be your reading on what karma will they face for hurting you. We'll check this out later. We will go ahead and ask the dice first, as always. Also, just remember that as you interact with my channel, it does allow me an opportunity to connect with your energy and get you out more resonant readings. So if it is resonating, hit that thumbs up button down below, subscribe to the channel, set the notification bell, and comment. I love hearing from you guys. It means so much. So many of you have left beautiful comments, and I'm just honored to have you guys as a part of this tribe. So with that being said, my fellow humans, let's go ahead and get started on your reading. And source for pile number 1, what kind of karma will this person face for hurting pile 1? What kind of karma will they face, source? What do we need to know? How can we help out pile 1 understand this? What kind of karma will they face, source? Okay, so we have the 4th house with Leo and the Sun. Let me get my block out here. So I just heard a reconfiguration of home life. So whatever it is that happened between the two of you, they're learning that their ego is not welcome behind closed doors. And it's so if they were very egotistical with you, if they were very much in this place of trying to control you or trying to treat you a certain way and trying to be domineering over you, especially with this Leo and the Sun energy here, it's like they're learning that there's no place for this energy anywhere. That you were the only one that maybe put up with it for the time that you put up with it, whether that was for a long time or a short time. You're the only person that actually allowed this to happen. And so what they're facing right now is that retribution for their ego, and they're facing this energy of learning that, like, if they went and got a family somewhere else, or if they had a child with someone or their own personal family, what they're learning is that they're basically getting shunned, right? So that's the karma that they're facing here. They're no longer being welcomed the way that they were maybe when you were in their energy, or maybe before when they were able to pull the wool over everybody's eyes. Now what's happening is that there's cracks in their emotional ego, and that egotistical energy is coming out. The control freak is coming out. This need to always have everybody under their shoe is coming out, and people are sick and tired of it. They're sick and tired of it. They're like, we don't want to deal with this. We don't want to experience this anymore. And it has to do with home life, right? So if you were, I am hearing that some were in a third party situation. So if you were in a third party situation with them, their home life is falling apart because of how they treated you. It's like, you know, there's that saying, don't, what is it? You don't know, don't mess with people because you don't know their spiritual team. And that's the type of energy here. It's like they didn't realize that they were messing with a higher vibrational person. They didn't realize that you are a healer. They didn't realize that you are someone who's on this journey, or that you're just a genuinely kind, sincere person. They just really thought that they were trying to protect themselves. This is someone who is seemingly coming across as narcissistic or abrasive, but like in the bad way. Like this is someone who's always arguing. I'm always right, you're wrong. What is it? I'm big, you're small. I'm right, you're wrong. I'm tall, you're short. Like that type of energy. Like I am always right. You don't know any better. And it's like, basically, I keep seeing a hot air balloon. It's like they're just blowing hot air. That's all they're doing. It's like they expect people to believe them because they've always been believed their whole life. And now what's happening is that that's being exposed. Those lies that they told are being exposed. That energy where they just basically say whatever comes to mind to make themselves feel big is being exposed to everybody. While you may have already seen this energy and you realize this, right? They hurt you. And so I'm wondering what that karma is. Well, understanding that that same energy is now being exposed to everyone else, that you were probably like in this energy of like, why don't they see this person for who they are? Now they do. Now they see that this person is rude and ruthless and cruel and menacing and controlling. And so everything that this person has built up as some sense of stability is falling apart. This is the foundation of their very being is falling apart. They could be going through a spiritual awakening at in some cases, right? And it's harsh. Like this is a very harsh part of the awakening where it's like they realize that they were really just wearing a mask. And that's part of the karma that they're facing here. But let's get some tarot on it and see what comes through, see what other energies come out. I just feel like this person always like stepped on toes with you. Like they were always, like if you tried to talk, like they would just talk over you, or they would wait until you were gone and they would tell lies about you behind your back. Like this is not a very kind person. And their karma is that now they're really being all alone, right? Like the loneliness is deafening is what I'm hearing. When they're trying, especially with the sun and the Leo energy out, it's like they're trying to be accepted by people. Like they want people to like them. They want to be the star of the show. They want to have some sense of fame and fortune, but they're not. Like I keep hearing, like it's like all that is falling apart. Like it's an idea, right? They walk around with this grandized idea of who they are. This grandiose idea of who they are. And it's like getting thrown back in their face that they're nothing like that. They're actually the complete opposite of that. So source for pile 1. What kind of karma will the person that hurt them face? Thank you. Okay, what kind of karma will the person that hurt them face? Thank you. Yeah, they're seeing you glow up and become this beautiful individual and be strong and receiving. The thing is they're going to see you receive things. The things that they've always wanted, right? The things that they tried to keep you from getting, that they tried to feed this illusion. Look, and family, the family card is coming out here. So this could be a family member that hurt you, or this is someone you considered to be like family, or again, coming back to now their family dynamics are falling apart. But this is showing that they tried to control an illusion for you. They wanted to make you feel less than. They wanted you to always feel like you weren't in control of yourself. They wanted to be in control of you, like by making you feel small and invalidating you. And maybe like this is someone that has avoidance style energy around them. Like basically you're asking a question to get to know them and they avoid you. You're trying to understand where they're coming from and they get angry, right? It's like deflecting everything that you brought in. And now it's like they're getting a taste of their own energy. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Look at this. This is who they thought they were. This is who they thought they were. They thought they were the emperor. You're the empress in this case, pile one. Okay, you're the empress here. This, and you're moving on. Look, you're headed towards the future, and here they are in the past, like thinking that they're all this bad A. I got everything under control. Everybody wants my advice. Everybody needs my help. Like, you know, this is someone who, when they would do a job, no one could do it better than them, and that the job would fall apart when they left, but they left and the job went on. And so in their mind, it was like, oh, they just all fell apart. And so they created this big story or this big idea about them, like, no one can do anything without me. Or they convinced you, if you were in a relationship with them, they convinced you that you would never find anybody like them in your life, that they were the best you'll ever have, and that you are meaningless without them. Right? They really played it off that you were not worthy of having something good. And this is how they viewed themselves, especially with the hangman right here next to them. They were seeing things from how they wanted to be, not truly who they were. So it's like they saw men and women in power, or people in power, as people who were forceful and controlling. And so they just basically said whatever they wanted, no matter who it hurt. This is someone who steps on toes. And their karma now is that everybody that they used to have in their life that was a friend, and everybody that they had in their life that they considered a part of their circle, even though it was like they never kept anybody close, their karma now is that everybody is being ruthless back to them, treating them exactly the way that they treated you. And it's like, whether or not these other people got treated the way that you did, it's like now there's nothing they can do. It's like everybody's moving forward, and they're still stuck in this idea like, oh my gosh, nobody can do anything without me. Like, I'm the best person in the world. I'm God's gift to humankind. And, you know, like, without me, the world won't go on. It's like the world was fine before you were born. And unfortunately, for everybody, the world will still continue once you leave this world. You know, it's not to be ruthless or anything like that. It's just literally to say, like, when you come from this egoic place, they're very brutal, they're very manipulative, and now people are being very forthright with them, okay? With this Queen of Swords in the reverse, it's like, this is their perspective on it. They think that people are being mean. They think that people are being cold. They think that people are being narcissistic towards them. What's going on here is their karma is that how people are treating them now, it's actually being mirrored back to them how they've been treating others. And it's not, there's no fine line, right? There's just basically 100%. It's like if they say something cruel, then people are like spilling out truth, but they don't see it as the truth because it goes against their grand idea of who they are. Can we please get some clarifying cards for this, source? Yeah. Sexual partners. This wants to be over here. So this person could believe that they belong in this class of people that is allowed to do whatever they want with people. Like yeah, okay, this wants to come out in the reverse. They basically, what's the word, source? Objectify individuals. Whether that's through sex or whether that's through just life in general. It's like they don't see people. They see an object that's either in their way or that's going to help them get what they want. In this case here, we have with the Page of Wands and the Lover coming out, and both in the reverse, saying that this person's very promiscuous. So if this was a relationship, this is someone who's very promiscuous. This is someone who slept around. This is someone who believed that that they were right to do that. So going back to this idea of being an emperor, right? And you see TV shows that always say like, oh, the king's mistress and all that. Like they really believe that they're in a position where they deserve that. Like they're just entitled to that for some reason. And now their retribution is that those people that they always called are waking up to this. Okay, so their karma is they're losing everybody. It's like when you chose you and you walked away from this, everything else that was set in place crumbled for them. Honestly, pile one, you were like their good luck charm. Yeah. The pathway was set this way. It was destined to be like this. You were like a good luck charm in their life. And you made everything have some sense of stability. Right? It was because of your energy. They were feeding off of your energy. It's like being high on life through you, on your energy. And because of that, when you left, all of that left with you. And now everybody sees them for who they are because they're no longer on your energy. They're no longer exuding your energy. It's like this is a vampire, right? This is an energetic vampire and they're sucking you dry. And when they would suck you dry, they would like allure other people based on your energy. Yeah, and that's just part of that. Like people are seeing through, it's like through the looking glass is what I just heard. It's like people are seeing them and they're seeing the truth of who they are. And they're realizing that while this person plays a positive role, they're actually quite negative and they're actually very, like they want everybody to believe that they're positive and they want everybody to believe that they're good natured, but everybody is seeing the truth that they're very low vibrational and that they're snake. That's what I keep seeing, is a snake. Like it's interesting. Yeah, look with the Queen of Cups underneath that in the reverse. It's like they're very closed off emotionally. They can't give to anybody emotionally. This is someone who just plays a very charismatic character. And it feels bad. Like it feels like you've witnessed them get a lot in their life, right? Yeah. It feels like you've seen them get a lot and always seemingly like things are going good for them. And in truth, what has happened is it's like there are times when we'll see people who are very low vibrational succeed for a short amount of time. And while it looks to us like a very bad situation, like, why are they succeeding? I'm working so hard to do the right thing and I'm not getting anywhere. And it's because the thing is it's short-lived. It's very short-lived. And so it's like they feel like they're on top of the world, but it's all built on sand. And guess what? The tidal wave is coming. And it is coming so fast and so hard that when it hits them, they're going to be left in this stupor. And that's exactly what's going on right now. They don't even know which way is up right now. So we have Iceberg Submerged that came out. Honestly, there's a lot that's going to happen that Source isn't going to let us privy to. Okay, and that's just because there's so much that's going on behind closed doors. And I do feel like that's with other people that we're not seeing. These are arguments. These are fights. These are breakups. These are like if this person was putting you in a third party situation, they're going through where the other people they were sleeping with are now putting them in third party situations and treating them like an option and treating them the same way that they treated you. And so it's like just knowing that what you experienced behind closed doors with this Iceberg Submerge, it's like now they're experiencing that, but it's like tenfold, right? Because you only see 10% of the iceberg. The other 90% is below. So it's like they're getting it tenfold. What they gave to you, they're getting, and they're not enjoying it. And so their karma is that they have to deal with, it's like trying to find an answer, right? Someone's trying to find an answer here for their actions, to take accountability. And they don't want to take accountability. This is not someone who's used to taking accountability, but the only way out is to take accountability. That's it. Like, basically everyone's calling them out on their BS. Everyone is. And while they think the whole world is against them, it's like, I don't know if this person's actually ready to see what it is that they did to you. I don't know if they're actually ready for that. Right? And that's because they're in this place of being in denial. And so in that place of denial, which we know is resistance in the spiritual community, when you're in a place of resistance, it feels like everything is really hard. So this person is suffering emotionally, mentally, physically. I did hear impotence. Yeah, look, trauma. Look at this, with this card coming through here and this lightning bolt hitting them. It's like you were like this sweet little angel that came in, and it's like there's this trauma that's coming in and just dealing with the storm, right? They're in the midst of the storm. Let's look at this card for just a minute, right? It's like everything is changing for them with all these butterflies. They have butterfly wings, but look, they're just like broke down and hurting and just like, whoa. And you have all this rainstorm going on, and it's like they're too blinded right now to see that it's good change, right? And of course, we're looking at the karma, but it's like it's retribution for everything that they've done in their life. It's all falling apart. They're in the midst of the dark night of the soul. This person is in the midst of the storm. They're in the midst of a lot right now. And they're too blinded by their hurt and their pain to see what's going on. They also may have had a head trauma that happened, but I am getting that this person may also suffer from severe migraines currently, and they're not sure why. Like, the doctors don't have any explanation as to why. And the reason why is because they're just fighting the process. They're fighting the change. They're fighting the transformation. Yeah, we have 44, the traumatized. Like, that's what I was saying. This is like trauma here. I acknowledge that I have been traumatized, but also that I'm healing. And this is also Source coming in, showing you that the reason they treated you the way that they did is because they were traumatized when they were a child. And you brought healing into their life. And their karma is to face that trauma. But that's scary, right? That's really scary, especially when this person used that as a way to fuel the facade in them. But that's their karma. Like, everything that they've known is falling apart. Also, they could, I was hearing with this, the Lover in reverse, that they could have STDs that they're getting. There's just a huge imbalance in their life right now. There's a humongous hole that you left, and it was like a vacuum. And that's what they're dealing with right now. We have Virgo, integrity, reverence, and service. Yeah, it's like they're in this, look, fallen angel. Like, that's what I saw right here with this fallen angel. It's like they're in this place of not being able to humble themselves. Like, Virgos are usually, when they're in their light energy, very humble. But this is like being a control freak. They're trying to control the process. They're trying to control everything. And no matter how hard they try to control things, it's still falling apart in front of them. It's still all going to hell in a handbasket is what I'm hearing, right? And it's like they're being stuck in this place of isolation right now, and their heart is breaking very much in the same way that yours did. Let's see what we got. Look, we have fear, hyena, number 38, exactly. This is where they're at. Like, they have an opportunity to come into abundance. And I know you're here wondering what their karma is. Not necessarily in the best place of trying to wish them well, but understanding that forgiveness sets us free, right? That sets us free from the bonds of what another person has done to us. And so it's like you've offered them an opportunity with your love and your light to bring them into a place of abundance, not necessarily with you, but with everything that has happened. But right now, look, they're stuck in the fear, and they're roaming in this place of lack, and things are just dying around them. Everything that they thought was abundant. You know, I keep hearing like this is someone who lived their life like a gangster. Like they really thought they were a gangster. This is someone who really thought that you know, like no one was badder than they were. No one was bigger than they were. Like and it's like somebody came in that was badder than they were. Somebody came in that was bigger than they were. And the fear just started leaking out, right? Look, isn't it interesting that both of these cards are referring to the head, right? The head section. Like, look, this is all a skull, and then here it's like this lightning is hitting their head. So it's like this has really got them stuck in their head. This really, and again, that energy of feeling like this person is either dealing with severe migraines, or they're also dealing with crippling anxiety, which leaves them stuck, and they are too proud to go and ask anybody for help. And so their karma for hurting you is staying stuck in this place of fear, not realizing. So it's like the control that they had on you, it is now backfired. And it's like your energy and your absence is what's controlling them. Right? They were never truly in control. Of course, the whole thing was just an illusion. But now, because of the way they treated you, it's like now they're stuck in this place of really believing that you are controlling their energy because of the vacuum space that was left when you left, when you went away. And now they're watching as you glow up, and now they're watching as you stand in your power, and that just traumatizes them even more because they truly tried to minimize you. And so their karma is that they get to watch you turn into the beautiful being that you are. So this is what I have for you, Pile 1. If it resonates, make sure you hit that thumbs up button down below. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it here and get on out of here. Until next time, stay human. Bye. Hello, Pile number 2. This is for those of you that chose the natural jasper. This is going to be a reading on what karma will they face for hurting you. We'll check this out later. We will go ahead and ask the dice first, keeping in mind that if it resonates, hitting that thumbs up button down below, subscribing, commenting on the channel does allow me an opportunity to connect with your energy and get you out more resonant readings. And yeah, I just want to say thank you to everybody. You guys have been amazing, so thank you for being here. But let's go ahead and get into your reading and ask the dice and see. Source for pile number 2. What kind of karma will this person face for hurting pile 2? What kind of karma will they face for hurting pile 2 first? What kind of karma will they face for hurting pile 2? A lack of ability to communicate. A lack of communication. They will never be able to clearly communicate with others until they choose to heal themselves, is what is coming out. We have the first house, we have Libra, and we have Mercury energy coming through here. Like this idea to be able to be seen in romantic relationships, partnerships, business situationships, whatever it is, part of this karma that they're facing is that they'll not be seen where they thought that. I mean, it's not like they were ever necessarily seen before, right? But this feels like someone who's very slippery. This feels like someone who's very deceptive. Like they talk in circles a lot and they try to like confuse people, and it's through that confusion that they get what they want, or they achieve whatever their goal is that they set out to achieve. And for them, excuse me, for them, that has always made them feel like they've had the one up in all their connections. Business, in love, in friendships, in family, wherever it is, like they feel like this talking in circles makes them feel wanted and loved by everybody, because like when they leave everybody so confused that, oh my gosh, like people really were thinking that they were having a great communication with them, or that they were having a great conversation with them, right? And I feel that there may have been at one point where you felt that as well, where you were having great conversation with them, but as time progressed, realizing that this person was just talking around and around and around and around and around, it really had nothing to say, nothing of sustenance, right? And with that, they're very much like this idea where they maybe had this energy they wanted others to take on the workload for them, or they wanted others to take the responsibility of the tasks that needed to be done so that they could take credit for it. That's no longer going to be working for them in their favor. For hurting you, the thing that's coming across the most here is that they will never be able to express themselves in any way like they did before. Like, they're always thinking about how they hurt you. They're always thinking about how, like you're just on their mind now all the time, and it's like they can't get you out of their mind. And so people are seeing how superficial they are. They're seeing how gullible they are, like, around this person. Like, they're realizing that there's nothing here that's worth actually fighting for. There's nothing here that's worth actually putting forth the effort. And it's not just like close friends, like our business relationships. This is like close friendships. These are people that they've known for a long time who maybe they just resigned and they're like, oh, that's how they are, or whatever. No one's putting up. Oh, you let me say it, Source. Thank you. No one's putting up with it anymore. And so their karma is that where once maybe they felt like they were heard and they felt like people believed that they had something very important to say, now no one is listening to them. And that is really bothering them because they identified with being a leader, and they've identified with being able to control a crowd. They've identified with being able to influence a crowd. And they were really skilled at blowing smoke, like blowing hot air, blowing smoke, like they were just really good at smoke and mirrors, at table tricks, card tricks, right? They were really good at that. And this is someone who thrived on that, building an illusion for people to make them do or say what they wanted to. I don't necessarily feel like this person was one of those where it's like they wanted people to do what they wanted them to do. This is more or less they were constantly trying to seek approval from others, and so they learned how to blend in a way that made them feel like they were getting praise and admiration from others, and they just really mastered that. And now with the energy shift among the collective, how they've mastered that is no longer working out for them, right? It's just no longer giving them the results that they used to have. So let's put some tarot on it. Source for pile 2. What kind of karma is the person that hurt them facing? Okay, thank you. What kind of karma is the person that hurt them facing? Yeah, fall from grace. Falling from leadership. Falling from the position that they once held. This is someone who could have had a very high position in a job as well, and that is no longer going to be theirs. Yeah, that's what they... So this is someone who is really well, like, known in the community, or really well known in their family, or really well known in business. And now it's like people are realizing that this person is just smoke and mirrors, and that's nothing that is worth giving them the position that they had for. With the Popes coming out on the bottom, you have known this for a while. You've been aware of this for a while. You're very intuitive. Yeah, you could have been in love with this person, but they're very brutal, right? They're very brutal to you. They had a problem with authority. They see you as someone that's authority figure, and they see you as someone who's very kind and caring and willing to give equal give and take. But part of the karmic cycle that you experienced with them was having to be around in their energy for some time. This is someone who's very much a narcissist. Okay, like, and understanding that everybody has narcissistic tendencies. This is someone who really thrives on that. I can't say that they're for sure diagnosed narcissists or anything like that. That's not my job to do so, but the energy that's coming through is this is someone who's a narcissist. They like to gaslight people. They like to build people up in the honeymoon phase just so that they can knock them down. And it's like to break people down and to keep them away from their intuition so that they can have this approval. This is all about approval to me, and they're not getting approval from people like they used to when they, you know, had you around. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this person's very immature. Oh my goodness. Okay. This person is very immature, pile 2. This is someone who likes to argue. This is someone who's very they literally, they believe that they're being blunt, but they're not. Like, this is not blunt energy. This is basically like, just you're wrong, and I'm gonna argue with you. This is like somebody who's a psychotic lawyer is what I just heard. Okay. They may be a lawyer. They may just really enjoy arguing. They may really thrive on that. And they think that they're starting something new here. This is someone who believes that, like, oh, if I tell someone all this, and they're gonna take my advice and they're gonna do it for themselves. And in reality, it's missing heart, right? It's missing heart. And so what's ending up happening here with their karma is that now they're in this place of being seen as someone who's just, they like to start fights. They're immature, and there's no one has a way of actually connecting with them. No one has this way of being able to connect with them on a deeper level. So it's like I was saying, with the awakening of the consciousness, right? It's like the collective is waking up now to things that were once okay, especially in the age of Pisces, right? And now we're moving into the age of Aquarian, and it's just like this energy is shifting. And because that energy is shifting now, it's like what people used to get away with is no longer accepted by those that are awakening, and it's causing such a huge shift. And now this person's identity is falling apart, and they don't know what to do. They don't know how to recover. And it's like they keep pulling out their bag of magic tricks, and everybody's just like, we've already seen those 1,000 times. Like, you keep showing us the same old, and what do you want? You want us to laugh? You want us to clap? You want us to applaud you? You want us to be excited for you? Like, what do you want? And so the leadership position that this person has had, it no longer exists because this argumentative energy has come through, and it is ended for them. Okay. And if there's somebody in a power position here, right, with the Popess, somebody who was their boss, that's what it really feels like here. Is somebody who is their boss intuitively realized that this person was not going to do well in this position. And so this is someone who could have very much lost a position because of what they did to you, like a karma that they did to you. But understanding that this is the energy that they exude. It wasn't personal. The way that they treated you, it wasn't personal. This is literally how they are with everybody. It's just that they were so good at talking in circles that people didn't, like, they easily confuse people. Like, I'm already getting all tripped up on my words here because that's the energy that's coming through. Wow, okay. All of your cards flew out all at once. Yeah, that's it. This person's conceited. And that's what people are seeing now. They're seeing that they're conceited. They're seeing that they're limited vision. Like, they're not as innovative as they thought they were. Like, maybe back in their day, they were seen as someone who was very full of ideas, and they were someone who is capable of creating something from nothing. When in reality, this person, the truth is being shown here that they've let other people do the work and they've taken credit for it. And so they're being exposed who they are, right? They're being exposed for what they've done. Yeah. And they're stuck now. They're grief stricken. Like they really are suffering. Okay, they're suffering physically, they're suffering emotionally, they're suffering mentally, but they're too stubborn to see that it's their own doing. Like, this is a stubborn energy. They're just like, no, it's like, this is someone who blames everybody else. Like, look, stepping on heads, right? It's like, I'm going to step on heads to get where I want to go. This is somebody who really believes that if I do something to someone and take their position, then I'm doing good in my life. Like, this is just a weird energy. It's like they're willing to throw anybody under the bus just to make it look good for themselves. But see, they're like stepping on heads, and what they're not realizing is they started stepping on the wrong heads. And people who are woke, or people who are very intuitive, or people who are just very aware, very self-aware, realizing that this is not working. This is not a good situation. Look at that. Look at that. Boom. There you go. Right there. We have the Popess and the reverse of the Popess and the upright. So you have somebody who's in the reversal of their energy trying to go up against someone who's in the upright. Upright is always more powerful. Okay, they just have more power. It's like this person really believes if they follow superficial values, or if they play the part that what they think society wants them to play, that everybody's going to like them. This is someone who, if I drive a Maserati and and this is just an example, but if I drive a Maserati and I have a house, or I'm living the dream that everybody else wants to live, I have clout in the world. And their karma right now is that everybody around them is seeing them for who they are. They're realizing that this person, they tell lies, they try to manipulate, they try to cloud people's vision from the truth of who they are. And then when things don't go their way, the person that hurt you starts blowing their lid at people who, it's like innocent bystanders, really. And this is to balance the scales with temperance on the bottom here. This is to balance the scales. It's like you were, unfortunately, pile two. It's like sometimes it feels like, oh, I was special, like it was all personal. It just had to do with me. It was like you were the last straw. Okay, like them hurting you was the last straw. It was like you were in a line of innocent bystanders. And it was like hurting you as the last straw because you have a strong spiritual team, and your spiritual team is like, look, this is not going to fly. This person has gotten away with this far too many times, but now you're hurting somebody who's very high vibrational, somebody who does really truly care, somebody who's in touch with their intuition. And it's like the scales need to be balanced. And now they feel hopeless. Look, you have this, look, you have your 2 cups and they have their 2 cups, and it's this reversal energy, look, with the devil behind that. I can't, right? They're hopeless and they're mad, and they're like, and again with the devil, this could have to do with their work. Like, I keep feeling like this is something that has to do with their work. Like, they lost everything. So this could have been someone that you worked with. It could have been someone that you were in a relationship with. It could have been, it could be anybody really, but it's like maybe you were the one that had ideas and you were giving them ideas, and they took your ideas and claimed them as their own. And it was like you never got credit for the work that you were doing. And this person got all the credit and they got the position. Well, that position is quickly fading, okay? Like I was saying, it even if it wasn't, like even if you were in a relationship with them, it has to do with their work life, because that's where they were always free reign to do what they wanted to do. Even though they treated you the way they treated you, it was like at work, they were like free reign, or like wherever they have the most people. This could be like a church setting. This could be like a gathering. Like maybe they have a weekly gathering that they go to, or whatever it is. But it's like wherever they gathered, it's like people are seeing them. They're seeing through and at who they are. We have fire, passion on the bottom over here. Like this person is getting burned by their own fire, right? This person is getting hurt by what they hurt others by. It's like what goes around comes around, y'all. Yeah. No longer are they able to stay beneath the surface. Like they've lost their breath. They have to come up. They have to surface. And in surfacing, they're being shown for who they are. right? It's like they wanted people to believe that they were some amazing person, that they were some godly individual, right? But at the end of the day, they're really not. Like, this person is very much in this energy of like trying to fool everybody. And so their karma is that they're being exposed, and this is balancing the scales. This has to happen so that it can balance the scales. It's like, for as much light as you possess, this person lives in the shadow. And that's why you were magnetized towards each other. Whatever the situation was, it was like it had to happen, because it's like your energy had to draw them towards the light. And now they're going through this great stage of resistance, which only brings them suffering. And it's like, I know that we're on these readings. It's like, oh, they deserve their karma. Like, understanding though, pile two, that forgiveness is your greatest weapon against any situation like this. Forgiveness is what sets you free from the bonds that this situation has created. And understanding that forgiveness doesn't mean that what they did was right or that it was valid. Forgiveness says, I felt the way that I felt, and that's okay. But I forgive this person because they no longer deserve a spot in my mind, in my heart, and in my soul. They're not worth my time, right? And that's what forgiveness really is. And forgiveness is also, I love Oprah, she said this. She said, forgiveness is saying that there's no other way that it could have turned out. So we just forgive the situation. We forgive what has happened. We forgive them, right? Because there's no other way that it could have turned out. And holding a grudge only keeps us hurt. Holding that only keeps us in a place of low vibration. And that means that they're winning. And so while they're being exposed at this time, I feel like it is important. And so I keep getting called to talk about forgiveness here. And so I feel like Source is just also trying to remind you, like, well, it's like, I'll tell you what's going on with them. They're losing a lot of footing in their life, but remembering that it's not something to cheer on, because it's like, it's put that cheering that on and making this energy of like, oh, they deserve that, whether they deserve it or not, right? What you put out is what you get back. That's just a law of the universe. And knowing that, it means that we have a right to just understand, oh, okay, so now it's their time to deal with what they put out there. Just like one day you will have your time to deal with what you put out there, be it good or be it bad, right? So we have house 6, establishing a foundation, health, daily life, practical details. Yeah, so again, this is their foundations are falling apart. Their health could be affected. Their daily life and their practical details, that keeps pointing me back towards work. Whatever it was that they were doing for work, it's falling apart. Like, it's like, look, you have this wing out here, but it's on bones, right? It's like they thought they were flying high, but now there's nothing left to hold them up on the journey. And this is interesting because it's like they're like listening. You have this one that's looking at them, talking to them. And it feels like they were always trying to listen and to gain clearance, but clearance, okay. Clarity on the situation. But it's interesting that I see this image because it's like one half of the butterfly, right? And that's what I was saying before. It's like you're the light while they're the dark. So as bright as you are, they're equally in their shadow. And it actually creates this completion of an object or of an energetic connection, right? Why do we say that? Because temperance is actually this successful blending of opposites, the light and the dark. At its core meaning, that's what temperance means. It's the ability to embrace and behold within us the light and the dark aspects. And so with this image, I am getting that. It's like they played on you how they knew they could. And it was like, and yet at the end of the day, the light that you left behind brought all that back to them, and they have to face that. And so they're in this process of transforming, and this gives me the energy of the Nameless card in my deck, which is the 13 card, or Death, as you might know it as. It's like learning how to embrace their own emotions, and they're not sure what to do with that. Like, it's not yet something that they're willing to do, and realizing that you are actually a gift brought into their life by source. You were the gift. It was you. You're the one that was a catalyst for their awakening, right? We have catalysts for our awakening, but understanding that we too can be a catalyst for another's awakening, and you were the gift. And they weren't ready to see that. They're not yet ready to see that because everything that they know is falling apart. Look, we have the communicator with number 15. I remember my words can have multiple meanings. Wasn't I saying that? They're not able to communicate the way that they want to. And we have the communicator coming out here, guys. Oh, I love that. I love that synchronicity. They're just not able to convey what it was that they felt that they could before, because people are seeing them for who they are. Look at this. We have number 34 on the bottom with Will and Tiger. This feels like very much like control. Like they wanted to control others by force, by manipulation, by scaring tactics. And the thing is that you exuded this power over them by exerting your will, by walking away, by listening to your intuition, whatever it is. You stood your ground in some way, shape, or form, and it broke them apart. And it really showed them how weak their idea of self was. And so I feel like this is a masculine that we're talking about, okay, and understanding that energy is fluid. But I do feel like this is a masculine because this particular card talks about, especially being a woman, it's so important to stand in your power. And so with that being said, I feel like you were up against a masculine who just had lived a certain way for so long. And when you came in, it's like you broke down everything. And now their karma is that whatever they found stability in is falling apart. Whether that's their job, their community, their church, their religion, their life. It's just all falling apart. What they identified with is now falling apart at the seams. And that's the karma that they have to face. And you may actually have front row seats to this. For some, you may have front row seats to watching this happen. Okay? And that's not to give you a big head or anything like that. Remember to humble yourself. We all put out energy and we all get that energy back. And it doesn't matter if you choose to live in that place of fear, which this energy here is living from a place of fear, or you can choose to come from a place of love, whichever you choose, it doesn't matter. And remembering that people who are manipulative, they're just living out their fear. That's what they're doing. And so it's just a reminder to you, Pile 2. But this is what I am seeing for you. If it resonated, hit that thumbs up button down below. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. But until next time, stay human. Bye. Hello, pile number 3. This is for those that chose the Blue Moonstone. This is going to be your reading on what karma will they face for hurting you. We'll check that out later. We will ask the dice first. And reminding you that as you interact with the channel by liking, subscribing, and commenting, it does allow me an opportunity to connect with your energy, to get you out more resonant readings. So with that being said, I just want to say thank you to everybody that has commented, that's supported, that's just been here and allowed me your energy. I'm so honored to be here sharing these with you guys. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into your reading and ask the dice for pile number 3 source. What is this person's karma for hurting pile number 3? What can you tell us about this person? What is their karma for hurting pile number 3 source? What is their karma for hurting pile number 3? So we have 4th house, we have interesting. We have Scorpio and Pluto coming out together, and Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. Someone's keeping a big secret from them. So some have maybe been in a third-party situation with this person, knowingly, unknowingly, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. However, this is getting returned to them by the person that was at home. Right? And so what's going on here? Also, I am hearing that there's somebody that's pregnant. Oh, okay. This is outside of the situation. So karma is no. Their big secret is no longer a secret. Right? And they're very lustful and they're very demeaning. Like, very sexually demeaning is the energy that's coming through here. And this is being all shown to the people who are coming into their life, whether that's friends, family, or partners. They're being exposed for being a sexual deviant. It's coming out here. It's like no one's gonna trust them anymore, because it's like if you lied to the person that you cared about the most, right? And we'll use quotations here, but if you lied to the person that you cared about the most, the one that you chose to have your life with, how can we ever trust you? And it's like even the people that are closest to them in their home situation just no longer trust them. And so their karma is really facing this lack of trust from those that they need the support from in this time. And it's like they're realizing that they're the ones that were the problem here. They're the ones that actually threw this away. They're the ones that caused a lot of this. And so everything that they knew is falling apart at the seams. But it's not just falling apart at the seams. This is like a huge transformation that they cannot run away from, right? That's what I'm saying. Like with Scorpio and Pluto here, we have reproductive organs. And with that, it is telling me that there's like a child, there's something that they cannot run away from here, which indicates a child being born, especially with the fourth house coming out here. We have this energy of like a new life coming in, but a new life outside of where it should have been. If that was you, or if that was somebody else in the lineup, okay? But this is someone who's a sexual deviant. Like they don't just stay at home. Like they're not truthful. Like even if they promised you that they were going to leave their wife or their husband or their person at home, like that would have never happened. They were just saying these things in order to gain their release. That's all that they cared about. They were not very cautious about it either. Like they were very much just kind of doing whatever they wanted willy-nilly. The other thing that is coming through here is STD or STI. So pile 3, if you had sexual intercourse with this person, it might be well of you to check yourself and just to protect yourself. Okay, like that's just for you guys to choose. I'm not here to force you to do that. It is just something, a message that is coming through here. They're very jealous. This person is very jealous, and their jealousy is getting the best of them right now. It is actually causing them to look very ignorant and very much like a child in a situation where they need to be an adult, and people are realizing that. And so no one in their circle, no one in their inner circle is trusting them with anything anymore. And so even just the simplest tasks, it could be as simple as, and again, this is just an example, but it could be as simple as maybe they used to watch their nieces and nephews, when their brothers and sisters went out of town, and now their brothers and sisters are like, no, I'd rather not, my kids not be around you. That's just energy I don't want them to be around. Or, like maybe they would hang out with their friends on the weekend, and their friends got wind of this, and their friends are like, no, like, sorry, we're married too. We don't want our partners thinking that, you're influencing us to do that. So it's like, that's the kind of change that's happening. It's like, not only did everything that they knew that they were enjoying fell apart because of this situation at hand. This definitely feels like something that they can't take back, right? Like that's, whether it's a child or whether that is something like, so I'm be more like an STD, right? Like something that they can't take back. That, like, that's it. That's it. Like this is going to be something that sticks with you for life. And that's the type of energy that's coming through here. And it's like, the reason they're losing the trust of people is because people really believe that if they're hanging out or seen hanging out with them right now, is that others will equate them with doing the same things that they've done, exuding the same behavior, experiencing the same lifestyle. Let's get some tarot out on it. For pile number 3, source, what karma? Wow, these all 3 came out together, okay? Look, We have the Lover in reverse talking about playboy, playgirl energy. This is like someone who's promiscuous, someone who's going out and not caring. Then you have the Queen of Wands in reverse and Temperance in reverse, not wanting to heal this energy. This is some big energy, right? They have a problem with conforming. So that's why I was saying, like, this person could have a marriage. They could be tied to somebody. Maybe they live in a home with somebody, right? Like, they have something that ties them together in a family-like setting, whether that's a home together, whether they're in a relationship, a committed relationship, right? And I use that term loosely here, or if they're in a marriage. They have a problem with following through on the rules and the regulations that come with that, right? And it's like most people, like, it's not rules, it's just having integrity in a situation, being trustworthy for the person that you love, right? It's not that they don't love this person, they just don't respect this person, obviously, because they're out playing around. They're out doing what they want. They're also stuck in the situation that they're at home because there's money involved here. And that also makes this person angry. And so they choose to go sleep around on their partner because they're angry about that. And I feel like you're the one that got caught up in a third party situation with this person. And again, it could have been knowingly, it could have been unknowingly. I'm not here to judge and be like, oh, you should have known better. You know what? We're humans. We all choose to do what we feel is best for us. And that's not for anyone else to say, oh, like, you shouldn't do that. You know what? If it felt best for you in that moment, then you chose that. And that's what you chose, right? There will always be consequences, whether they're good or bad at any one given moment, right? And so that's the thing. This person has no meter for consequences. It's like say they went out and they got an STI, right? So they realized they had to go to the doctor and they were going to get checked for it. The doctor gives them medicine, says, okay, you have to stop sexual activity for 3 weeks. This person, like, basically was like, are you kidding me? I don't think so. Then they go out and then they pass that around and then they get something else on top of it. Well, and then they bring that home to boot. And so what karma they're going through right now is something they can't come back from, especially with this Temperance in the reverse here. It's like they cannot fix this. There's no fixing this. Okay? What's coming out is that they live this style of life that I'm always out and about. I'm always sleeping around. I'm always doing what I want to do. And that's coming out. And so it's like the facade is, the gig is up. The gig is up. No longer are they being seen for who they once were. They have no respect. We have the 9 of Wands coming out, and this talks about health, right? Bad health. And this also talks about beginning again. And so it's like, if they weren't going to divorce or end the relationship that they were in, the person at home, right, with the 4th house here, then this person is going to end up ending it for them. It's like everything that they said that they would do, maybe to come together with you. It's like, oh, I'm gonna divorce them. I'm gonna leave them just as soon as this happens, or as soon as Tommy gets old enough, or as soon as that happens. Like, all of that went out the window, right? Because there's a child now, or there's some sort of health situation that cannot come, like, you can't survive from, like, not survive, that's a terrible choice of words, my apologies. That you can't erase, right? You can't survive a relationship. There's no erasing what has happened. So let's get some clarifiers out on it. What do we have? I can't. This came out in every pile. Every pile. Okay, so what does this say? This is somebody who's immature when it comes to sex. Like, they don't feel like they belong in the world, right? And their only vice is sex. This is someone who's a sex addict, okay? Like, that's exactly what this feels like. And maybe it's not sex, but there's a lot of sexual energy here. You have the Lover reverse, you have the Queen of Wands reverse, and you have the 9 of Wands here. You have Scorpio and Pluto, and you have the Page of Wands. Like, the main energy coming through pile 3 is that you're dealing with a sex addict. And it's coming to light that this person's a sex addict. And they could be very well getting forced to go into some sort of therapy to deal with this, or counseling or something. Like they're getting forced to deal with this. But it's because something else came out because of it. Source, may you please get some clarifying cards for pile number 3. And please have some clarifying cards. Wow, that is far too many. That is far too many, but let's see what we got. Yeah, look. They don't want to learn from their situation because they dealt with a broken heart in the past. And so their biggest thing is making sure they connect with as many people as possible, because they cannot connect with people emotionally. So it's all about connecting, pretending to connect emotionally so that I can disconnect and have my way with you. This is like a tricky move on their part, right? And please get a clarifying card for this. Whoa, again with the cards. What? Oh my gosh. Didn't I say this person's jealous? So whatever they did, it's like being returned to them. So if they were a cheater, now they're getting cheated on. And now they're judging the person that cheated on them. They're like, how could you do this to me? How could you hurt me? Like, how could you do this? Like, we were supposed to be in love. And the person that's, you know, what, it could be you. That could be you. It could be someone else. Whatever it is, the situation. It's just like, they're like, why? Why are you acting like this when you did this first? And they cannot come, like, this is someone who refuses to take accountability for their lack of moral in a situation. So these both came out over here. I'm going to take them both. Yeah, definitely something tied to funds here. Right? It's like something that's tied to money, like tied to making sure that maybe this is a husband providing for a wife, or this is somebody that provides for the family, or this is like this identity that's tied to taking care of helping a situation here. Needing to funds in order to keep this house running type energy, right? But also at the same time, your person constantly looking for approval from others. With the 7 of coins here, it's like this need to be approved by others and not getting it now. And now everything that they had before is out the window. Yeah, hopelessness, fear, being distraught, being completely disconnected from every idea that they've had in the past. Look at this with the devil in reverse on the bottom. Again, sexual obsession is coming out with the devil in reverse over here. It's like they like having people in third-party situations. It's like they feel like they deserve to be idolized. That's the energy here. But now everything is falling apart. And because it's falling apart, no one looks at them with respect anymore. No one, even their family, even their friends, they're just like, how could you do this? Like, you hurt good people, right? Like that's what's coming through here. It's like you hurt good people in your pursuit of sexual debauchery is what I hear right now, okay? And that's the problem here. It's like, and this person, they just like refuse to take accountability for it. They refuse to be like, oh, well, yeah, I was in the wrong. Because in their minds, they don't think that they were in the wrong. And because of that, everything that they know, it's like they're getting left with nothing. So if they have a family and kids, like, they're not going to see their kids anymore, right? Like, if there's a baby because of this situation, they're basically going to become a child support person. Like, they're just going to pay child support and not have, you know, a chance to be with the kid. Like, that's exactly what's going on here. It's like, if this is a STD situation, it's like they're going to get pegged in their community as someone who intentionally is harming others, right? Like, it's like basically being registered. I don't know if that's a thing or not, but that's the type of energy that they're telling me here. They did want me to say is like registered like a child molester. That's really weird. So for some, that may be something that's coming out, is that they were molested as a child. Yeah. And that's something that they're having to face. Like, that's why they're like this, is that they were molested as a child, and that's why they're doing this. And I feel like the reason that Source wants me to bring that up is just to remind you, like, this, they're not doing it because they're trying to single any one person out. They're doing it because in their mind, like, it's a coping mechanism. It's an addiction. And anytime we bring up an addiction, that's a coping mechanism, right? Like, it's because I can't cope with the world as I know it. And so I do my best to hide from from my feelings, from what's hurt. This one wants to come out here. Yeah, look, I cannot. So this is somebody who, let's start with this one. This is somebody, like, this is a couple here, right? This is somebody who knows how to play on people's hearts to get them to believe in them, to make them feel like they're the only one in the universe. And they do it to everybody. So if you've ever felt like this with this person, you felt really special with this person, you felt really like loved by this person, like, oh my gosh, nobody gets me like you do. It's because this person is like, they are so good at what they do. They know how to move. They know how to act. They know how to talk. They know where to go. They know everything that will get everywhere that they want. And so that's this energy here. But you see how dull this image is? It's like everything is in color behind them, but they're in these gray outfits. It's like they're sad, and they pick out people who may have troubled pasts. And so you may have a troubled past too. It's not what we're going into today, but it's just understanding why you may have been a target here. It just may be because you may not have strong boundaries. You may have a troubled past as well. And it's something that they were able to manipulate in order to gain what they wanted from you. Yeah, so we have the romantics coming out. I allow romance to touch my heart every day. And so this person, they play the part of a romantic in order to get where they want to go, right? And that's part of their process. And this is also a message to you to remind you that it's okay to love. It's okay to love. Yes, this person may have broke your heart. Yes, this person may have hurt you really badly. But it is still okay to love, and to remind yourself to love yourself every day. Right? And that's something that will help you heal from this situation. Okay? Part of the reason that you were brought together is that they were here to help trigger something within you in order to heal. And you were also meant to trigger something within them to heal. But what they didn't expect was that their whole life, their whole identity, their whole being was going to fall apart the way that it did. Yeah, so we have crystal focus, like everything that they had focused on, everything that it's like one track mind energy coming through here. It's like, I do this, this, and this, and it gets me this, this, and this, right? And it's like now their crown chakra is opening up, and what's happening, they could be experiencing some really heightened senses of enlightenment at this time, or really humongous downloads on who they are. But there's this sense of denial that's coming through here. Like, I don't want to even agree with that, because if I agree with that, it means that I have to admit that I was doing something that was potentially harmful to myself and harmful to others, right? And that's difficult because they already have a poor sense of self. And so it makes them feel even worse. And so now the focus is being changed. But this also feels like that energy that now they're being forced to focus on their actions by other people. It's almost like this feels like intervention from families, from friends. Like, it feels like somebody's coming in saying, like, no, you have to deal with this. Like, you have to face this energy. Look, we have seventh house here, profound relationships, intimacy, and romantic partnerships. So again, pointing out that you may have had a romantic connection with them, but also this is the thing. It's like everybody that connects with them feels like they're a one of a kind. Like, this is a profound connection. Like, oh my gosh, where did they come from? Where have they been all my life? This is an intense connection. It's because they are so good at playing the romantic, and they play on that, and they're not afraid to. You may have resonated with another pile, and if you did, you're welcome to go check that out as well. There may be some other messages in there. I'm not going to say which pile, but this was something that did come out in another pile, so you may have resonated with another pile. look fixed. We have stability, persistence, loyalty, and dependability with Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. So we have Scorpio coming out again. Really, excuse me, I apologize. What this is saying is they were fixed in their ways. They didn't want to change, right? Fixed signs are very stable. They're very stubborn too. This is somebody that's very stubborn. They don't want to change how they're doing things because it made them feel like they belonged. This is somebody who has a disconnect from their root chakra and from their sacral chakra. And when we have sexual addictions, we're talking about a misaligned root. We're also talking about a misaligned sacral because we're not able to feel our emotions. And then our root chakra is about our right to belong. And if you don't feel like you belong and you feel like the only time you belong is when you're physically connecting with somebody in a sexual way, the rest of the time, imagine how somebody feels inside when that's the only time that they feel like they belong is through that physical connection, intercourse, right? It's like you have this person who, okay, I'm gonna do that as often as I can because that's the only time I feel like I'm needed, like I'm wanted, like somebody else cares about me, is when I play on their emotions, when I play on them. And it's like not wanting to come to terms with that. Like there's this energy, they don't want to come to terms with that. And because of that resistance, everybody around them is like forcing them to come to terms with it. So again, it's like everything that they've known their whole life, their secrets now exposed. And because their secrets exposed, it's like, oh man, it's like their dirty laundry is getting aired out and they can't put it back in. Like it's it. Everybody has smelled how terrible it smells. And there's no taking that back. They're just like, it just leaves a sour taste in everybody's mouth. And now it's like they're getting forced, like no one trusts them anymore. And it's like, okay, people that care about them are like forcing this person into like rehab or into therapy. Like it's like everything, life as they know it has changed. Yeah, and then we have authenticity, wolf, with number 17. This is actually an interesting situation here. Let's look at this image. This is like a predator, right? You have a massive predator and feeling like a predator against someone who's very small. Okay, so they see everybody as small compared to them. This is someone who goes out and hunts. This is somebody who pegs people like, I'm going to go after this person. I'm going to go after that person. I'm going to go after them. They are a predator in their life. We're not looking at authenticity here. It's like, that's not, because they're not. They're anything but authentic. They're just prowling. They're on the hunt. They're trying to gather their prey up so that they can have their way, so that they can walk away satisfied. Right? But here you are, you have your spirit realizing that, look, I don't have to be afraid of you. You did whatever you did, whether that was walking away from them or whether that was just learning that like this wasn't going to work anymore for you. You did what you had to do. You turned your focus back on yourself, or you're in the process of turning your focus back on yourself. And because of that, your spirit is scarier than however big they are. But understanding that this is not your fault. Whatever has happened in this situation is, first of all, not your fault. Okay, like I just feel like you need to hear that, pile 3, because nothing that happened between you and them it had anything to do with you personally. And that may feel like it's invalidating your experience. It's not. Everything that you've experienced is very valid. How you feel about this is very valid. But this is an understanding that this person sought you out because there's something in your vibration that they felt that they had right to manipulate. And that's why turning the focus back on yourself is so important. We have 17 coming out, which is 8. 8 is all about karmic cycles. This is something that maybe you have karmically experienced over and over again. And this is that trigger, right? They triggered you to heal this within you, but at the same time, it was such a huge trigger on both sides. You triggered them and it caused their secret to be blasted out into the world. And so now they're facing their karma, and there is some anger that's directed back at you. Wouldn't be surprised if this person attacks you at some times. Like at points, you might receive a message where this person just starts to unload on you and you're like, whoa, hold on. And maybe you've blocked them and they come on hidden accounts and they still unload on you and you're like, look, this is it. I hear a restraining order for some. right? It's like because they really believe that you're the problem within their life. But what they didn't realize is that there's only so much that you can do before the rubber band snaps, right? Like that's it. You can continue to live any one way in life, but eventually the rubber band will snap. And it can hurt really, really bad, or it can shoot you really, really far into the sky. And at this point, this person has had their rubber band pointed at itself, not realizing the ramifications of their actions. And whatever happened between you two was the catalyst for them into getting this like family intervention coming in. This is people coming in and saying, look, what you're doing is not right. You need to change. We don't trust you. We are never going to believe you again. You're going to have to build that trust again. And that takes a lifetime. And this person really, really is angry about it. So if they do attack you, if they do come at you, I just want you to know, pile 3, this is not your fault. Okay? And understanding that forgiveness is your biggest weapon in this situation, okay? Forgiveness doesn't mean that what they did was right. Forgiveness doesn't mean that what they did was okay. Okay, forgiveness says, I don't want to be tied to this person anymore. They're not worth my time. They're not worth my effort. They're not worth my tears. They're not worth my energy. I forgive them so that I can set myself free from the burden that is this memory, that is this hurt, that is this pain. And understanding that however you feel from this situation, that's okay. That's perfectly okay. Don't take blame on yourself for this either. And I feel like some are very much in this place of holding blame for what has happened to them. No, they brought this on themselves. They brought this on with their own actions and not caring about the people that they were hurting along the way. Okay? So I love you, pile 3. I'm sending you out this big energetic hug. Okay? A kiss on the cheek because I feel like you need it. I love you so much. And remember, you're a very beautiful being and you're amazing and incredible. And give yourself some credit. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. If it did resonate, hit that thumbs up button down below. And I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. But until next time, stay human. Bye.